All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Puck Rock Rangers. I am Stefan. This is Palmer. We got a good one, so let's get into it.
All right, welcome back. We're here with you on Tuesday, the 18th. We're about 30 minutes, 45 minutes from puck drop. The boys are in Las Vegas tonight.
Yep.
So by the time this episode wraps up, the game should be starting. We'll check that out and report on that next week. But the boys embark on a Western trip. So starts in Vegas tonight. They travel to Colorado and Utah and then come back home, I want to say against St. Louis.
Yeah.
There's been some good, there's been some bad, and there's been some unfortunate.
Yep.
We'll get into all of that, but first, let's get into some updates. What's going on with you? How's everything?
Everything's going pretty good. You guys don't know this, but me and him know this. We recorded yesterday, and the mics had a malfunction about 10 minutes into it. So this is our take two. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Everything's going pretty good. I was at Goodwill today, and Megan, she taps me and she says, "Look, look." And I look over and it's some dude wearing a New York Rangers sweater. And I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "What's up, dude?" I said, love to see it." And, he was, we got into talking about the Rangers a little bit and it was a kind of
Okay.
cool experience.
Oh yeah.
We were both, we both had some things we were like minded on. So it was cool to see a Rangers fan out in the wild today. Other than that, nope, nothing crazy. Work's good, family's good, everything's good. What about you?
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, this is part two. We had some technical difficulties, so Steph and I are caught up, but we'll catch up with you guys. I caught a show this weekend at Super Rad Arcade. That's in Lynchburg, about 2 hours away from Richmond.
Sick.
Cool spot, cool people. Saw my good friends in Vigil. Saw a band called Bastard Cross, another band from Richmond called U.S. Bastards.
Nice.
Excuse me. Some bands that did not have Bastard in the name. Just a good time all around. Been wanting to check that place out, so knocked that off the list and hope to check out more shows there. Hopefully, play there soon. Otherwise, just living life. It is like I said on the hop. It's Tuesday, so I know the result of my fantasy football matchup, and I did lose five straight. My season is just in. I'm fully in fantasy football hell. Is how I put it. But
You're basically the Jets of fantasy league.
pretty much. I mean, the season started off okay, and it's just gone off the rails. 5 weeks straight, nothing's going right. So we'll move on. We'll talk more Rangers. um, did want to address something right off the rip. The
Hmm.
news broke earlier this week or last week on Thursday. Larry Brooks, longtime New York Rangers and NHL, really worked for the Devils, worked for the Islanders. But New York Post and Rangers legend, writer, interviewer, podcaster Larry Brooks
Yeah, rest in peace, Larry Brooks.
passes away after a pretty brief battle with cancer. Right around the beginning of the season, he kind of stepped away from the team, stepped away from his pod, and we hadn't heard much from him. But there were updates that he was hoping to come back, and obviously didn't make it back. So best to him, or best to his
Yeah,
family. Condolences.
condolences. Yeah,
So it's awful. So
yeah, it's sad news. It happened quick, so
yeah, it did.
it's never good to hear.
But yeah. So rest in peace to a legend. Just wanted to get that said early on to the episode. So we'll move on here. The last couple games that have gone on, we're just going to go one by one here. There was a 7-3 big win in Tampa Bay,
Yep.
a 2-1 shootout win in Columbus, and a dreadful 2-1 loss to Detroit at MSG. So we'll go game by game. Tampa Bay was a 7-goal first period, really an offensive explosion. The game settled down eventually. Tampa Bay did not score again after the first, and the Rangers just kind of ended up taking the game.
Yep.
Um, Tampa Bay's banged up. You got to play who you play, and you know uh, whoever's available is available. So you can't asterisk the Rangers for that. They won the game outright. But yeah, Tampa Bay was without McDonough, without Hedman, and I think someone else on offense. But What were your
And then
thoughts on that?
Hagel got injured, so
Hagel got
he
injured.
came out of the game pretty early. He's one
Yeah,
of their main guys.
yeah, we'll touch on that.
Um,
But Susie lined him up pretty good.
I just want to, in general, like this was a thought I had when I was just hanging out earlier, and at this rate, if the Rangers can squeak into a playoff spot without any home ice advantage, we will win the Stanley Cup at this rate. As long as we're winning every single game away from home and losing every game at home, we'll win every game 7 and we'll
Yeah,
win the Stanley Cup at this rate. Isn't that crazy to think about?
it is crazy, and it's funny because and I'm sure I know you don't follow him as closely, but Ryan Mead actually made that same point a week or so
No,
ago.
I didn't even hear it. I was just
And
thinking about it. I was like,
but yeah,
man,
you guys are absolutely right.
we're perfect on the road
Perfect on the road.
and
If you get in
completely.
as a low seed, you're gonna win those game sevens, right?
We might win one game, one round in game 6 because we've won one game at home. So, but other than that, we're game 7 beauties. We're going for the cup right now.
But yeah, that was a pretty complete game. One of the more complete Ranger games we've seen. The
Absolutely.
first period was pretty herky jerky, but afterwards we kind of dialed it in
Yeah,
and
I
played
mean
like
the
a different
Rangers
team.
scored one quick, scored a second one quickly. Then it was tit for tat for the next 5 goals in the game, and then second period comes around, and the Rangers just took off, and Tampa had no answer for them. Typical Road Warrior type stuff that they did, just dominating offensively, shutting it down defensively. Um, it's what we all expect out of the Rangers when they're on the road, and they did not upset us for that game. So yeah, I'm glad. I'll take the win. They needed the confidence. I think uh, yeah, I'm not gonna beat it to death, but yeah, it was good. I loved watching it. I was happy to see it.
Yeah, it was a good team win. That moves us on to Columbus, the game in Columbus. I did not watch this. I was at the show, so I'm going to let Stefan kind of catch you guys up on that one. But JT Miller had the shootout winner, big fight with Sam Carrick and Olivier, and I was rewatching that fight earlier, and saw that that's a rematch of a 2024 or 2024 fight between them when Carrick was with the Oilers.
Oh wow,
So I didn't realize that. Watched both fights, and if you haven't, go back and watch that because that was a good tilt too.
nice
I think Olivier gets the decision in both, but Carrick got his shots in.
and expectedly so. Like Carrick
Yeah,
is not known for being a divisional heavyweight. Uh,
no,
he's a middleweight guy
yeah.
who don't take no shit off nobody. He's on that John Wayne stuff. So yeah, he did what he had to do. The Rangers in the first period seemed to kind of dictate play a little bit. Second period comes around, the momentum swinging back and forth a lot through the first two. Um, then Carrick did what he had to do. Olivier was being a pest. He was bothering people. He was picking on Schneider, and Carrick just said, "I've had enough." He answered the bell, and in the third period, where was Olivier? He wasn't pesting everyone like he was in the first two periods. So he did what he had to do, and it worked.
Hey, good old school hockey.
Yeah,
A couple beauties going at it.
yeah.
So what's not to like there? I mean, Olivier is really truly one of the heavies, probably the
The
toughest guy
I
right
think
now,
he's
pound for
I think
pound.
he's the guy.
When you consider everything, I mean, if he was 6'5", he would be untouchable. But
Oh my god,
but he's
he's a Dino Chara.
yeah, he's built like a brick shit house. He knows how to throw him, and we've seen what I mean. He tuned Rempe up.
He
He's
beat the hell out of Rempe, man.
beat the shit out of Trent Frederick the other night. So
Yeah,
good on Carrick for stepping up. That brings us to Detroit. The Rangers didn't really show up for. Got severely outshot. Quick deserved better, making 40 saves on 42 shots on
and
goal.
Quick was God mode.
Quick was fiery at the end. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Um, the team's still struggling 5-on-5. What stood out to you about this game? What do you want to weigh in on? What are you
What
thinking?
stood out to me is that Detroit was playing a lot of offense and we were playing a lot of defense. It seemed like pretty much the whole game we couldn't really get the momentum going our way. The officiating was kind of dog shit. Um, that one call on Carrick when he got hooked, that was crazy. Um, the refs, they didn't do any favors for the Rangers. I mean, there was a few kind of iffy things going on with the Detroit as well, but the officiating definitely favored Detroit in that game. But that's no excuse for getting outplayed, outskated, outshot, and completely outworked in pretty much the entire game. That third period, especially, uh, when we're supposed to be locking it down and really trying and pushing. We just didn't do it. I think we got like 3 shots in on the third period or something, and you know, Quick was getting peppered, and it was only a matter of time before Lucas Raymond, goes around the net, comes right out front, no one's there, and he just shoots it right into the open net.
It's a 1-1 game, and the Rangers are playing it like they're up two, and
Yeah,
they're just defending a lead, and it was just a bad game. Um, you know, like Quick looked really good. Quick gave the boys a chance, and maybe in years past the Rangers win that game, but that kind of shit's not happening this season. They're not winning those lucky, they're not getting bailed out as much as they have been in the past. They're gonna have to win games honest. They're gonna have to out hustle,
yeah.
outshoot teams, keep it low and slow and
I
kind of grind games out.
I would say really the only positive takeaway from that game is that the power play seems to be getting going a little bit. That's back-to-back games where the power play, and specifically Mika on the power play, pots of goals. So that's a positive takeaway. We didn't get shut out. We did get a power play goal, something that we were horrible for a long, long stretch early on. It seems to be that the boys are figuring it out now. So that's one positive take. Other than that, um, there wasn't much positive about it. It was a defensive showdown with no offense, and Detroit had defense and offense. That's the difference.
Yeah, and for those of you at this point living under a rock that haven't seen it,
Hmm.
at the end of the game, I'm gonna call him
Yeah,
Appledorn. Shout out Shorzy.
yeah.
So the biggest, dumbest Appledorn shoots the puck into the Rangers' net at right as the buzzer was going. It's funny. Quick said it was 2 seconds after.
Dude, it was
That
maybe
was
a
the
sec. It
fastest
was
two
it
seconds.
was maybe a 1/1000.
It was pretty nonchalant, but hey, that's old school hockey. That's seen as a fuck you. And Quickie is a guy whose wires will cross, and he's a fiery guy. He was
He
like that with the Kings. He's been that way his whole
he
career.
had to get some steam off because
And yeah,
what he did in that game was absolutely bonkers. And then for the team to just lay down on their backs and take the loss after Quick did what he did, he felt some type of way. He wasn't going to let anything slide, and he made a decision that would get his team into some rough stuff. And I think it's kind of his way of sending a message. Like
he was
he
being
was sending a
opportunistic.
message. Yeah,
He saw an opportunity
yeah.
to send a message to get in. We got a great picture out of it, and look,
Michelangelo ain't got nothing.
the game winds down. It's 1-1 for most of it. The game winds down, and eventually, uh, you know, we're not victorious, so you're
Yeah.
feeling not great. But you get a little dust up. It reminded me. It wasn't like an old school hockey bench clear because there wasn't like a whole lot of fighting. There was a little bit of shit going on in the middle. It reminded me more of like a baseball bench clear where you get the whole team out in center, and there's some pushing and shoving and grabbing, but
Yeah.
ultimately not too much. Cooler heads prevailed.
Hmm.
The boys get off the ice, and we're left, with a 2-1 loss, deserved a
Yeah,
deserved
and
loss.
we didn't even mention that Mike Sullivan was out dealing with a personal matter. So Mike Sullivan wasn't in there. I think the game definitely felt a little different without Mike Sullivan in the bench. Just certain decisions that didn't really make sense. Detroit scores that second goal kind of late in the third, and then the following puck drop, you got the fourth line out there. Just things like that that didn't really make sense. That I think would have been different had
That's old.
Sullivan been out there.
That's old quirky Quinn for you, man.
Yeah, Corky Quinn.
Yeah, but so we'll touch on that. Will Borgen's still out short term. He should be back soon.
I just
Um,
saw something that said he's a game time decision tonight.
okay, so we'll have to see. I was
Yeah,
looking.
I just saw it before we
Yeah,
started
I was kind of
recording.
scouring X before I left the house, seeing if there's anything. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I guess that will, determine if Scott Morrow gets the call again. Perot is sent back to the AHL.
Yeah,
I don't feel really any one way or another about it. In my opinion, it was kind of a desperation move. I would have liked to see him get more time in the AHL and then get the call. So that's kind of what's happening with 3 games with a cup of coffee with the Rangers in the middle of it. So he's going to go
hmm
back down, get more time.
I think we'll see him again though.
Oh, we'll definitely see him again.
At least I think we'll see him
I,
again
I
this
would say so.
year. I think we'll see him again this season
I would say so. I mean,
later on.
And with Sullivan, yeah, Sullivan did miss a practice and the last game. I heard he's back.
Oh, did you saw
Yeah,
that he's on the bench for
he's
tonight?
joined the team. Sullivan is back.
All right, good to
So that's
hear.
good for the Rangers too. That's almost a benefit of doing this episode again. Is there's been some new. I feel
Yeah,
like the dude.
we are the first podcast to be on the news, on
Yeah,
top of news for you guys tonight at least.
I feel like the dude on the Big Lebowski. New things have come to light, man. All right, so I want to get into a segment here called "The Offense is Offensive," and I went back and made a couple more notes because I thought you and I had a decent discussion on it yesterday, but I wanted to kind of go in a little more in on this, and I thought that a couple guys got off scot free, so I wanted to hold some more players accountable here. So we'll start with Mika. Mika's looked pretty good. I will give him that. I'll say that right off the hop. His game is overall better.
Yeah,
It's the whole team's not scoring, so I'm not going to crucify him for his team leading 7. I could kind of joke and poke and prod. Guys like Tom Wilson, Dawson Mercer, Tyler Bertuzzi, Todd Bertuzzi. Shout out the '90s. Those guys have 9. Marshy's got 13. Sid's got 12. You want more from our top guys.
I'm gonna defend Miko here. I'm gonna defend him because early on in the season he was getting the chances, like quality, top shelf, grade A chances, and they just weren't going in. They were a little bit wide or like an unlucky bounce. And in every single interview, he didn't have anything to say. He's just like, I mean, it just can't sustain itself. Like if I keep doing what I'm doing, they're gonna go in. I think now what we're seeing is the result of some resilience with Mika, where he's just kept at it, and now he is actually starting to get some of the lucky bounces and get some of the goals. So I'm gonna stand up for Mika. I know it's only 7, but considering the way that the team has been so shell shocked to start the season, I think that it's a fair amount of goals for recently he's just been starting to stack them up, and if he can keep this pace up, we're looking at a 30 goal Mika this season. I think.
Yeah, and Mika's streaky. So if he heats up, he can end up with 4 or 5 goals in 9 games, 10 games. He can go on those kind of heat streaks. So let's see what happens with him. He's overall looked pretty good. I just couldn't help but point out the scoring disparity, and that's team
Yeah,
wide. That is not
yeah.
just a Mika stat. Mika is at least on the top end of it. He finally caught up with Taylor Radish. But Will Cooley's second on the team in goals. It's just
He had a couple
and
back
I
to backs.
and I love Will
Lafreniere.
Cooley, but Will Cooley should not be on a good team. Will Cooley should be like your 5th or 6th in points on a
Yeah,
good team. Um, so and JT Miller, man, the captain.
yeah.
Overall, I like his game, but he's got 9 points in 20 games.
He's proven to be just a big moment guy. Like he's not doing things that are like changing the tempo of the game. But in the big moments, he seems to pull through, like
Yeah,
overtimes and shootouts. Like that just seems like that's what he's going to be for us as a big moment guy, which we do need. But we also need someone who is a regular moment guy
yeah.
throughout the game.
And as per hockey culture, they've been super vague, but you're hearing that it's a groin injury. It's obviously holding him back. I'd rather see him miss some games now and come back healthy than kind of drag this out and not play.
Yeah,
This is a guy that 2 seasons ago had 100
this is
points.
Chris Kreider
Is
2.0.
usually a point per game player, and he's on pace for like 30 points.
You can
Is that good
tell
enough?
something's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can tell something's wrong. So
not good enough. So
Rangers fans will run him out of town before it's time to heal. He'll go somewhere else and then
yeah,
light it up.
he's got another year and a
He'll
half.
go to Anaheim.
So Panarin's got 5 goals in 20 games. That's not good enough either.
No.
Lafreniere's started to step it up a little bit, but he started off cold. The whole team started off ice cold as far as scoring, minus Taylor Radish
Yeah.
per expectation. So as
Well,
of
and his was a hat trick in one game, which really put him up there
yeah, that really
against the
padded him out.
Sharks.
Yeah, minus that game, he's what 2
Two
2 goals.
goals.
So not good enough. Not good enough. As of Monday, I didn't check it this morning or this afternoon because I was running around. But as of Monday, the team is 23rd in goals for, 20th ranked power play at 18%. As Stefan said, the power play is picking up. They've got 4 power play goals in the last 4 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So things are picking up. These stats were way worse about a week ago. So
Much worse.
like much worse, like 30th, 31st. I mean, really bad. So things are turning around. You would think, But the offense, really needs to get it going.
especially at home. Like, what is going on? Like, how could you be so good on the road and so terrible at home? I'm starting to think like this team is either the home team that's overachieving on the road, or they're the road team that's underachieving severely at home. And I think time will tell what this team actually is, but I think we will see what this team actually is as time goes on. Like, are they just overachieving or are they just severely underachieving? I think it'll even itself out eventually, but it's like I said, only time will tell. Who knows?
It, it
It's
really
crazy.
it really has varied game to game, week to week, shift
Yeah.
to shift. What this team is, I think it's a team that's trying to find its identity. Certainly doesn't have an identity. It's a team that's identity has kind of been stripped over the last couple of years, and now it needs to find a new one.
Yeah.
It's starting to with guys like J.T. Miller, Will Cooley, Vincent Trocek, but you still have the old core of cores of corpse of you know Artemi Panarin and Zibanejad, Lafrey, softer type players that don't play that rugged game. So
Sexy flexy players.
sexy flexy. The decor, I wanted to spend some time talking about them. And I made a video earlier this week after the Tampa Bay game, just asking fans, how are you feeling? What's your pulse on the D core? I've been critical. I've said it out. A couple times. I couldn't help but feel underwhelmed by the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
When you look at guys like Will Borgen and Susie, but they've overall been really good. They're rating out really well with stats and metrics. They're at the top, towards the top of the league there. And we just wanted to spend some time talking about it. Wanted to get your feel for the D. It's certainly growing on me. I've been critical.
Yeah.
Needed some time to kind of get warmed up to him. Where are you at with this decor?
I don't have I don't have any complaints with the decor. This decor is not sexy, but it is efficient. It is an efficient decor that is just not sexy, and I can live with that. Like, we got a bunch of stay-at-home D type guys. Adam Fox is able to be the sexy decor guy that we have. Gavrikov has fit in like a glove, so Adam Fox is able to do what he needs to do. I don't really have any complaints. It's just the offense that I can complain about. Even at home, like the defense looks good at home. You're not seeing any like hellacious Keandre Miller type mistakes, Jacob Truba type mistakes. When you're seeing the breakdowns happen in our zone, it's like a team breakdown. It's not just a defense breakdown, which we're so used to. And when teams are pressing, they're gonna score goals sometimes. It just happens. I think defense has looked good. That's really all there is to it. I don't know.
It's a little difficult saying this after a game where they were outshot, they were outplayed, but generally speaking, they haven't been getting hemmed in their D zone
A
like
little
last
bit.
they have like last season.
Yeah.
Last season was atrocious. Last season, their game looked so exhausting, and I made that comment probably in one of the early episodes this season that their game did look exhausting. It's starting to look a little better. The puck's moving better. That starts in the D zone.
Yeah.
You got guys like we're used to guys like Jacob Truba who did my pee wee hockey move, just throw it up the glass.
Yeah.
That was his
A
go-to
wet
move.
noodle up the boards.
Well,
Hopefully it makes it out or bounces
yeah,
out. But
you got guys
that
like
that
Keandre
infuriates
Miller
me.
who would do the blind no look pass to the slot,
Yeah.
end up right on the tape of a offender's stick. So
We're not seeing any of that. Those
no, we're
crazy
not seeing
crazy
those
moves.
loud big mistakes. Even I was a little critical on that. I thought Susie didn't play that Lucas Raymond goal so well. But you know what? Look, Lucas Raymond's a good player. There's footage of other great defensemen getting burnt by good players sometimes.
Yeah.
And no one chipped in on defense to help him out. Raymond ran behind the net. Susie had a decision, could have chased him or met him up front. He was kind of hesitant and did neither, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And none of his wingers picked the guy up. Go figure.
I will say that I do like the defensive core depth. I think when guys are moving in and out of the lineup, usually you'll be able to tell when there's somebody important who comes out of the lineup. But we've had a lot of changes in our defensive core, but throughout the changes, it seems to have stayed somewhat consistent. Like Robertson's been in and out, Vakanainen's been in and out, Morgan's been hurt right now. We just got to see Scott Morrow, who looked decent.
Yeah.
So guys are moving in and out of it and it stays consistent. So I love to see that.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's good depth. You
Yeah,
know, we got what? We have 3 or 4 guys that are really making a case or fighting for that 6th spot, and that's not a problem. That's a
yeah.
good thing. But yeah, Will Borgen, we'll go spend a little time on some of these guys individually. Will Borgen, like Stefan said, not sexy, probably the poster child for not sexy hockey, but really good.
Dude's ugly as hell too.
He is
He's
ugly.
ugly as hell.
He's kind of pale. I don't like ugly. I don't like to say that actually. I'm gonna
He's
take
not
that
a
back.
handsome
He's a
bastard.
goofy looking dude.
He's not a handsome
He's
bastard,
he's he's no
but he's damn
he's
efficient.
no
So
George Clooney. Um, but I feel like he's emerging as a really reliable, steady defender for
yeah,
this team. He's not he doesn't have great offense, but he's chipping in. He's not overly physical, but he's making some hits.
yeah,
Same thing with Will Susie, Carson Susie. He's looked really good. He had that big hit on Hagues, knocked him out of the game, led
yeah.
directly to the Lafreniere goal, which ended up leading to a big team win. He's looked pretty good. Gavrikov, not flashy but solid.
He is
Um,
a little flashy. Like he's flashy defensively.
Defensively,
Defensively flashy. He is always stopped. Like when there's a 2-on-1 and Gavrikov's back there, you know there's a chance.
something I'm hearing a lot during the games.
Huh.
Good stick, Gavrikov.
Yeah,
Good
good stick,
stick by
Gavrikov.
Gavrikov.
Oh, and he blocked the pass. He'll do
And
a
one
sliding
thing
sprawl. They'll make it past him, and then he'll swing his stick and knock it
one
right
he
away.
needs to be running sliding drills because the Rangers for too long have been a bunch of fucking snow angels.
Yeah.
And he actually slides. Like I saw it the other day, he slid and I started to roll my eyes because I said, "Oh, here we go." But he got the puck.
Well, the thing is, he'll
He didn't
slide.
he didn't just slide out of the play.
It'll be a good player. He'll slide on him. The player will beat him, and out of nowhere, he just somehow slides a 180 on the ice and then swings his stick out
It,
and knocks it
it
away. So
reminds me of
he gets him on a second chance, even when he does slide and get beat.
it
So,
reminds me of those little penguins on Mario Kart that
oh my god,
slide around.
the little ice slopes.
Woo!
Yeah, those are great.
Oh my goodness, man. But yeah, he knows how to slide and not take himself out of the play. Yeah, he's looked really good. Has a couple goals. Fox finally has the deep partner he needs.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
another good thing about Gavrikov,
Huh?
we have not said his name a lot during this pod,
Yeah,
and that's a good thing,
because
man.
he's not sexy, but he's efficient. That's why.
He's not standing out in a bad way.
He's no Keandre Miller.
One thing I will say on the defense, and I like Schneider a lot. I'm a big Schneider fan. He's been my Ranger crush this season or last season.
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon. I need to see more from this guy, and he has not looked bad, but I need more. I want more. He's a homegrown Ranger. It, Sullivan talks about him like he's good enough to be on the second pair, but he's on the third pair. I need more from this guy,
Yeah.
and I, and I'm, it's not to like shit on him or anything like that because that's not my intention. I like Snyder a lot. Just want more from him.
Yeah.
He really hasn't stood out this season, and we
But
attributed
that
his
may be a
middle.
good thing.
That is a good thing
Another
in a way.
version of Gavrikov.
He
We
hasn't.
haven't really mentioned him at all, but that's because he's not
We
sucking.
look. I could probably and I've watched the games that I've also gone to some shows and done some things. I haven't watched like a hawk,
Yeah.
but what I've seen is not good enough. And like I said, it's a guy I like, just calling it like I see it. I need more from him.
That's fair. What I've seen has been good enough from him. I mean, he's not making hellacious mistakes. He's been consistent. He's also out there on the third line, not getting the crazy minutes. He's not. We haven't been saying his name a whole lot because he hasn't been
He's
fucking up, quite frankly. But
I mean he's
if he got more,
taking shifts.
if he did do a little bit more offensively, I would not be complaining. So I'm with you on that.
Not just what? Where's the hits? Where's the grit? That's what I'm talking about. We know. Over the off season, he had surgery. He's been battling an injury, and he said out of his own mouth that he was going to be more physical, and I just haven't seen it.
Yeah,
So, like I said, I like the
I,
guy a
I've
lot.
seen I've seen him throw the ball a little bit,
I
but yeah,
yeah,
I'll give it to you. He could be doing a little bit more. It would be I'll give that to you. I'm not gonna argue with you on everything, but
yeah. I mean, and he's looked okay. He's
I'm
not looked terrible.
defensive of the defense.
You're getting defensive.
I'm being defensive.
All right, let's something I wanted to get off my chest here. And there's been a lot of Rangers discourse. There's been a lot of fans out here talking the crying over Chris Kreider and to a lesser degree Jacob Trouba. It's just driving me insane. Look, I grew up. Chris Kreider is a year younger than me.
Yeah.
He came into the league in that 2011 2011 season, or 2011-12, right when I was becoming a man, starting to watch hockey on my own. Before that, I watched some games here and there as a kid, but that's when I really became a fan with Chris Kreider, with Zuccarello, with Callahan. Look, we, do I miss him? Sure,
Yeah.
but I'm not fawning over him. Like, you can't scroll X or Instagram without seeing, like Ranger pages posting his goals in Anaheim,
Yeah.
and and commenting, "Oh, we need to bring him." Look, just let it go. It was time. It was time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have it all. Like, Rangers fans were running him out of town. He had a terrible season last year. Yeah, he may have been going through some illnesses and injuries, but he wasn't producing like the Chris Kreider we knew. Rangers fans ran him out of town. He went somewhere where he's set up for success, and now Rangers fans are crying about him uh, producing somewhere else. And it's funny that you say that because the guy at Goodwill earlier, he brought up Chris Kreider. He's like, I'm a huge Chris Kreider guy, man, and like God, like Chris Drury needs to go, and this and that. Like, and I was like, yeah, but part of me loves to see him do good. And he's like, of course, but like not with the Rangers. Like, So I mean, it's valid. Chris Kreider's a staple. He'll always have a piece of my heart. And I'm kind of happy to see him doing so good. It's fun seeing Chris Kreider do Chris Kreider things, even though he's not with the Rangers on a team that I don't absolutely hate, which is the Anaheim Ducks.
I'm a Cried or die,
Yeah,
and I do love Chris Kreider. I wish him well in Anaheim, and I don't say that with any spite or malice or with my fingers crossed under behind my back. I wish him well to an extent. I wish Trouba well there too.
yeah,
They had run their course. Look, these were guys that couldn't do it here anymore for whatever reason. The vibes, the air was out of the balloon. The genie was out of the bottle. Whatever cliche you want to throw at,
yeah,
it was time. It was time. And if you would have asked me year or two ago, do I want Chris Kreider off the Rangers? I wanted Chris Kreider to die a Ranger.
yeah,
And so no one wanted that more than me. But when he left, it didn't sting. It didn't sting as bad as I remember Zuccarello, that hurt. Guys like Brandon Dubinsky,
Lundqvist.
that hurt. Lundqvist, that hurt. This didn't hurt. It just felt like time.
Yeah, I'll say it did hurt me a little bit, but that it hurt because I still had hope for him. Like I was like, that little bit of hope you still have that someone will come back and be the player that you know that they can be. Um, but they get dealt, and that's hockey, that's business. Of course I'll miss him, and I do miss him, and I'll be I was a little sad when it happened, but it is what it is. It's hockey. The team needed a jolt. Changes had to happen, and when changes happened, you can't sit here and cry about it because it is what it is.
Yeah, well said. I would have liked Kreider to stay, dude. Look, if things were different, they'd be different, right?
Yeah,
If things went differently last year, you know, heads had to roll. You could argue that not enough heads have rolled,
yeah,
but heads had to roll for the way things went last year. The leadership core had to be broken up. Mika's been playing better without him. You know,
much. I think much better for real.
he's
He's
got a
been
new
playing a lot better
he's
without him.
he's got his new boyfriend, JT Tarpsoff Miller. What's up with JT Tarpsoff in every post game picture?
He's flexing on him. He's got,
Hey, he's got those traps. He's got to flex on.
yeah, he's flexing.
I got traps too. You just can't see them. Anyways, but Kreider's looked good, man. He's got 10 goals in 15 games. Truba's actually looked good too. He's got 4 goals, 8 assists. He's been their best D man. Um, Look, Anaheim's coming, man.
Yeah,
So don't cry over Kreider. Don't cry over Truba. Those guys are on a good team. They're set up for success. You know, Sometimes it's like a new. I equate it to a job. Sometimes things just need to be changed, and then when you get to the new job, you're gonna ball out. You're gonna show off. You're gonna, you want to make that first sale before you feel like you're part of the team.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what Kreider's doing right now, man.
Just be glad he didn't go to like the Islanders or the
Yeah, he's
Devils
not on the
or
Flyers.
he,
He's not playing on the third line with Brad Marchand in Florida. Look, he went to a good team. We don't have to see them that often, and we damn sure don't have to post every time he scores, every
Mhm.
time he farts. Look, I love Crides. Never will turn my back always a fan, and I'll root for him out there. But I'm just tired
And
of the
there's still
Ranger
a
fans
chance his
crying,
number goes up in the rafters for all we
and
know.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's time to let go.
Yeah, let's move. Well, it's time to move on.
All
And
right,
speaking of moving on, what's
moving
next in the
on.
game
We're about
notes
to
we
wrap
got?
this thing up because the game is about to start. I want to watch that. So game sticks.
All right, let me go get the game stick. Hold on, give me a second.
Pardon our moving around, but I'll go ahead and do my game stick first. And Stefan is grabbing the game stick. Actually, you have it. You do the game stick once you get settled.
All right, there you go. You touch my tush? Nah. All right, so the Ukrainian game stick. I'm gonna be awarding it this week to Mika Zibanejad. I like that he's gotten the power play going a little bit. I like that he scored back to back. I like that he's just been staying consistent and showing a little bit of resilience in his game. You know, he was seemingly shell shocked for the first, 8, 10 games, something. He's starting to pick it up, and I think he's making a difference. So I think he's earned this game stick, and I have no regrets handing it to him. I just hope he doesn't do some dumb shit like turn his game off so that next week I regret it. But as of right now, Mika Zibanejad, this one's for you.
Yeah, deserved. He's looked good. He helped us avoid another home shutout.
Yep.
So, yeah, Mika's looked good. So, my game stick goes to Syrup Sam Carrick.
Nice.
You know, he's fought some heavies. He fought Olivier this week. He breathed some life into this team. He's really been great for us last season into this year. He's solidified that fourth line. So, and you know what? His syrup is awesome, and he makes my pancakes so great every Saturday.
Yeah, syrup's almost called him syrup.
I
Yeah,
go Syrup Sam.
syrup carrot is actually very deserving of the game stick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call him syrup carrot.
And no shit, buy some Carrick Brothers
Syrup carrot.
syrup. It is good and it comes in quick.
Yeah, it comes in a cool glass too. Like I think Palmer
Show 'em
got
the glass. I have a collector's glass.
It's over there behind you. Palmer got the maple leaf glass. I got the aged bourbon glass. Mine's downstairs in the pantry because I actually use it. It's actually really good stuff. It's a little thin, so it spreads easily. It's not like the Aunt Jemima's or where it's like super thick. It's like trying to get butter on there.
It's thin and
It's
it's sweet.
good.
A little goes a long way.
Yeah, it's delicious. Some good stuff. So go to Carrick Bros and support Sam Carrick, and he gets the game stick from Ukraine.
It is gluten free. It is non-GM. No, I don't know. It's straight up maple syrup, man. These guys are just
good stuff.
These guys are picking a tree and letting the syrup flow.
They're true thoroughbred Canadians.
All right, so next up, like I said, tonight, just a couple minutes from now, the Rangers are going to face off with Las Vegas against the Golden Knights. That's going to be a good matchup. This is really a test, man. Thursday in Colorado, Saturday in Utah. Then they come home and play St. Louis. St. Louis hasn't played so well, but the other three have played really well. These are good teams, and it's really a measuring stick. Let's see if we can stay hot on the road, and let's see if we can get another win against St. Louis, a team that's struggling at home.
Best case scenario, it's what three road games in a row or four?
Yeah, they're on a road trip, so
they're on a road trip. Best case scenario is we pull 2 out of 3 of them, and then we come home with some momentum and start winning some home games.
Yeah,
that is the best of the best case scenario we can get. Show these good teams that it's not just a phase, Mom.
If you think of it this way, if they don't win against St. Louis, that's going to be one win at MSG before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that's not enough.
Not enough. We got to win them at home. We got to. So.
Well, that's all I had. Let's turn the stream off and get the game going.
Yep. And 6 minutes till game time.
We'll get this episode out Wednesday about midday. Appreciate everything. And,
yeah.
I think we'll wrap up here.
Yeah, I got nothing else. So forever hold your peace.
Until next time.
All right, take care, guys.
Thank you all.